Good morning, everyone. How are you? I hope you are enjoying this conference as much as I am. I am very honored to be here with you today to explore this topic that is both deeply personal and universally relevant: the power of rituals and how consistency shapes our wellness journey. My name is Nicole Billingsley, as stated, and I am the co-founder of Amarna Assisted Living in Egypt. I'm excited to explore the depth, honesty, and inspiration of this topic, and very much thank you all for being here. My interest in this topic began with my own search for balance and clarity. For a long time, I found myself juggling responsibilities, ideas, and emotions without a grounding structure. It wasn't until I began creating simple rituals where everything started to shift. As someone who worked in the field of mental health counseling, I have definitely realized how important it is for us to have grounding practices, not just for our clients, but for us as practitioners. In this profession, burnout isn't a possibility, it's actually an occupational hazard. And there came a point in my journey where I had to reevaluate how I was caring for myself and how I was caring for others. Practices that I call data dumping, where I create structured lists, implementing intentional self-care routines, and learning to genuinely listen to my mind, body, and spirit. When I adopted those habits, that's when I became more centered, productive, emotionally regulated, and aligned with my goals. Through this process, I learned that consistency isn't about perfection, but it's also about intention, intentionally showing up for yourself. Today, I am joined by an inspiring and diverse panelists, each offering their own unique lens of the power of ritual. They each have their own powerful stories shaped by the rituals that have cultivated their lives and practices which have supported their personal and professional evolution. I'll invite them to share their stories directly because their lived experiences are just as meaningful as their expertise. However, before we dive into this rituals, we would like to ask, and you can just shout it out, we call it rituals, but what comes to mind when you hear the word ritual? You can just shout it out. And consistency.
Consistent practice.
Say again?
A consistent practice.
Consistent practice, yes. Any meaningful moments? Me moments. I like that. I like that. So yes, those are all great responses. That's why we wanted to see what comes to mind when you hear ritual, because you can keep that in mind as we're continuing this conversation. So I would like for the panelists to introduce themselves and explain what the word ritual means for them and how it's personally changed their life and their work.
Okay, hello, good morning everyone. So my name is Vamika Agarwal. I'm a clinical psychologist and a co-founder of Sirona's Healing Center in India. Rituals are something which are very dear and close to any Indian, I think, because we are taught that since we are kids, how to follow certain rituals to help us out. Now, these are mostly religious in nature, but when we go a little deep into Indian philosophy, since I have done spiritual psychology as well, when we go a little deep into Indian philosophy, we realize that some of these rituals are really, really helpful if we only take away what we really require from them. So to begin, I would like to talk about a small little ritual that I think I made everyone do yesterday, whoever was here, and that helped me expand myself quite a bit and learn how to love myself and take care of myself and respect myself. So that is one ritual I follow every day, which really helps me. It's called positive affirmation for yourself, okay? Self-love and increasing that. I think I would give it over to others to introduce themselves and not take a lot of time, and then maybe we could get back to it if we have the time.
My name is Girish Momaya. I am director at Maharishi Ayurveda Europe BV and also director at Maharishi European Research University. My field is in Vedic sciences, including Ayurveda, the ancient Indian system of Vedic medicine, and also transcendental meditation. The word ritual, there is a word in Ayurveda, a complete subject called swasthavritta. Routines that promote health, protect our health. And these are lifestyle approaches that are profound, simple to inculcate, but effect is very profound. And about question of what is my experience, so first exposure to a routine that I had was transcendental meditation. I learned it when I was a student in engineering, and a very simple 15-20 minutes twice a day ritual. A profound experience and profound effect. Experience was, and it's universal, everybody who has gone through this simple meditation technique, is that minds from gross active level, how to bring it systematically, easily, effortlessly to finer, more quieter, more silent levels, to the level which is pure consciousness or pure self, where it is silent, integrated, aware within itself, calm, collected. And so many researches have been done that quality of awareness, quality of silence, quality of great deep rest that body gets is very transformative in our mind, psychology, functioning, at the same time on the physiological level. So these two changes that I saw were immense, that things started to be very different. My issues, problems were just dissolved. It's like putting on a light in the darkness, and you are not fighting with your problems, you are not fighting with the darkness, suddenly the light comes. And the transformation is just happiness, joy, and those problems that were affecting were no more affecting. So it's one of the ritual or routines that is also in Ayurveda, and that's very, really transformative. Thank you.
Thank you. So my name is Mona Abdurrahim Santal. I am the managing director of Mind Your Power, which is a company that I founded in 2005, really about the power of your mind. What we do mainly is corporate leadership training, but also with coaching the people, and my background is psychology and also hypnotherapy. So we bring in a little bit of therapy and coaching into the corporate world also now. I spoke about hypnosis, and this in itself can be defined as rituals that people do, because hypnosis talks about what do we do subconsciously. It's really the subconscious mind that drives us and not our conscious decisions. And how does the subconscious mind learn? We learn from a very, very young age on what is good for us. And by repetition and repetition and repetition, we start believing what we believed or what we learned. We start forming beliefs about ourselves. Why? Just because we did it over and over again. That's a ritual in itself. But now to my belief about rituals, it's a little bit controversial here, because I say everyone has different rituals, and following rituals just because someone says that's a ritual to follow can be actually stressful and counterproductive to you. So each person needs to find his own way, his own ritual, his own repetitions and habits, and what is good for me. This is my deep belief that I go by in life. In fact, I want to take it one step more. And this is, I can call it maybe a ritual of mine, believing in something that is, again, controversial, selfishness. I am writing a book. So everybody who heard me earlier or yesterday, my book Hypnorize is supposed to be out today still during the day. Everybody in here will get it, right? I just had my keynote about Hypnorize there, but yeah, you will get it. However, I'm writing another book on selfishness. And the thing is, you know when you're flying and the oxygen masks drop, what do they tell you? Take yours first and then give others, right? The thing is, we need to take care of ourselves first. And many, many beliefs are, you know, when you're a mother, you need to sacrifice your life for your children, for your loved ones, whatever. When you're a leader, you need to do everything for your team. But guess what? If you are stressed, if you're not well, if you don't take care of your health, your well-being, you cannot take care of others. So really see that as the first step is starting with yourself. Later on, when we go through, or at the end of this session, I will actually take you through an experiential experience. That's double, but yeah, so an experience to really go deep and take care of yourself, and some mindfulness practices. But on to Alex.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Alex Filipovic. I'm a medical oncologist by training, and I'm also an accredited neurosomatic intelligence and neurocircuitry pain reprocessing practitioner. The power of rituals is a topic that is exceptionally near and dear to my heart and to my everyday life, and it has been for many, many years now. It started for me personally through very deep healing journey on the back end of a diagnosis of ulcerative colitis, when I finally paused and reflected and decided to put myself first. And rituals have played a significant role in returning back to myself and remembering and unlearning slowly, layer by layer of conditioning that had accumulated over decades in life. I resonate with everything that my fellow panelists have shared, and I'll be happy to tell you a few rituals that I gravitate towards, smaller or bigger rituals, although there's no such thing as far as I'm concerned, a smaller or bigger rituals, they can all be equally impactful. Transcendental meditation has absolutely changed my life. Completely. So that is one ritual that I lean towards daily. The other one is breath work. Has been absolutely transformational and continues to be. Our breath unlocks so much that our conscious mind doesn't have access to. And the other smaller practices that I'd like to share that I do, I've done a couple of them this morning. I use them in my personal life. I use them in work. In moments of overwhelm, I really like to put one hand on heart, the other hand on belly. That's called the nurturance canal. Hand on heart, I am loved. Hand on belly, I am safe. Eyes closed. And I keep repeating that. I am loved, I'm safe. I am loved, I am safe. The other ritual that I really like to do, when the intention is to really get out of my own way, in personal or professional interactions, when I like to set an intention for releasing self-judgment and perhaps judgment of others, then I like to close my eyes and go to a meaningful quote, which goes, out beyond ideas of the good and bad, right or wrong, there is a field. I will meet you there. And I repeat that until I arrive at that field, and everything shifts. At work, I really like to do a practice which no one really has to see, but my nervous system knows that I'm doing it. And I'm deliberately saying nervous system at this point because we'll go into it a little deeper. I put one or both hands underneath the table. And with both hands, usually I do this. Peace begins with me. Peace begins with me. And it is something that grounds me, that anchors me, and sort of circles me back to really what ritual means to me, and that is a return to self.
Thank you all. I would like to add that when I do think of rituals, I do think of routines. In every single one of their responses, it did resonate with me because I've practiced many different affirmations, meditation. I've gone to therapy. I do things that are unseen, biohacking, daily list. I don't want to call myself an overthinker because there's even a ritual that I think that we have to be mindful of our words, so even our conscious and our verbal words. And I just kind of build a ritual kit. There is no one size fit all. I've tried things that didn't work and I've had to revisit them. So don't be hard on yourself. There are a plethora of things. We'll go through a lot of different examples here for you today. And I want you to keep that in mind because it really isn't a one size fit all. And now we will welcome Dr. Aronagi. He is coming from us from another panel. So thank you for meeting with us. And I will ask the same question of you that we just are continuing, what the word ritual to you means, and if you can introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Arunagiri, and as far as this particular ritual is concerned, I'm a big fan of this. Ritual for me is consistency, and it has been in my life that consistency leads to the compounding impact, and whatever you do consistently is what gives you results. And I've been in the space of well-being for the last 30 years, and I come out with a concept called as golden hour, where it has been my belief that if a human being spends 1 hour every day taking care of his holistic well-being, his life can really be consummated. Thank you.
Thank you. If you guys want to also use the other mic that's there, you can. It's not. Oh, okay. So my next question, I'm actually going to direct to Dr. Alex, and it works. And my question will be for you is, how can rituals act as grounding anchors for the nervous system in a culture of constant stimulation?
Thank you for that question. It's really, really important. So I've introduced an inroad into the nervous system in relation to rituals, and I really love to anchor the topic of rituals in the nervous system because our nervous systems hold our bodies. They hold our experiences, subconscious and conscious experiences, especially the former ones, the subconscious ones. And the ritual has the purpose of getting us out of the fight, flight, freeze and back into what in the nervous system language we call parasympathetic ventrovagal regulation. There is proper science behind this. Rituals rewire neurobiology and they rewire physiology. And the biology that ultimately feels safe to emerge in the body is one of safety. So rituals are bringing us back to safety. They're signaling to our nervous systems that it is safe to be us, it is safe to be me, it is safe to be seen, it is safe to be heard, it is safe to have a voice, it is safe to have a choice. It is safe for there to be a space in between myself and another. Rituals create that healthy separation where both parties, whether we're talking about ourselves and another person, ourselves in a group, two groups, organizations, a set of life circumstances, anything that we're facing, rituals are grounding us into a moment of recognition that all is well. And it's a tremendous power that they have. Consistency is key, because in my personal experience using rituals in personal life, but also in the clinic with oncology patients, in the context of overwhelm in life in general, in the society at large, there are a couple of features that I have personally noticed in patients are, I dare say, always present. I don't like to use the words always and never. However, in this case, it actually does apply. And those two features that I tend to see are self-abandonment and inconsistency. So an experience of inconsistency in any way, shape, or form in life. And rituals give us, or through rituals, we give ourselves that which we haven't received and that we deeply needed. Every single human being needs consistency. And rituals give that back to ourselves. It is deeply, deeply personal and deeply important. And as that consistency continues, we start training our nervous system to form something called a neurotag. What a neurotag is, it has an architecture in your body. It has an emotional component, a physiological component, a behavioral component, a spiritual component, a psychological component. And you pull one lever from the neurotag, all of them follow. And so that's why, for example, we smell something and a memory gets activated and we have a feeling in our gut, or we get flushed in the face, or we get sweaty palms, or we get palpitations, or some other form of a reaction happens. It's our nervous system activating a neurotag. And as much as it can be reactive, it can also be regulating. And the rituals are meant to create regulating neurotags in our nervous system, to the point where, let's say your chosen ritual is saying a prayer over a morning coffee. You will keep doing it for a while, and then there will be a neurotag that forms. And one morning you'll wake up, and with the first whiff of the coffee, the entire neurotag will activate and it will soothe you down a lot faster than it used to take way back in the beginning when you started your ritual. So the nervous system state is really what shifts profoundly with rituals. And oftentimes, in my personal experience, yeah, of course.
One difference was between ritual and habit.
Yeah?
Ritual and habits, you know, in my research on ritual, what I realized was when you add an emotion and a positive meaning to a ritual, that's exactly what, as you said, it starts a new neuro-linguistic pathway, and that it takes to the next level. And as you were talking about neural tag, but yes, it's a fact that anything which is done consistently is what really gives you the compounding impact. And as we all know, compounding is the eighth wonder of the world. And when you do with that emotion and the positive context, as you rightly said, it leads to the much better results.
Yeah. Absolutely, completely agree with you. That sort of concludes the answer, really, to your question. Thank you for that.
No problem. Thank you for your answer. And I do like that this conversation is going in, obviously, the course of rituals, but we're not speaking on pharmaceutical pills where a lot of people would like to rely on this one magic situation or solution for their problems. We're just discussing daily habits, routines, again, whatever word comes to mind that will help you with your wellness journey and your overall well-being. This morning, my nervous system, triggered my sweat under my arms because I was very nervous about coming here and giving this speech, but it is very, very much a passionate topic for me. So thank you for your response, Doctor. My next question I will direct to Ms. Wamaka. And from your perspective, how can individuals tailor rituals to their cultural background, their personal identity, or even their lifestyle, as I stated before, without it being a one-size-fits-all?
Yeah, so this is something which is very important. Thank you for asking this question. When we are talking about rituals and when I'm practicing as a professional and I have someone sitting in front of me asking me what they should add to their lives and their routines as a ritual. Now, the word ritual is so important and I'm emphasizing so much because it's more mindful. Something that is your routine is something that just phases out within your system, like brushing your teeth, having a bath. You don't think about it so much, or you don't do anything while you're doing that mindfully, right? But a ritual is something which is very, very mindful. So even when we are doing something as simple and routine as eating food, we can convert it into a ritual by eating mindfully, savoring that food, feeling it within our system, whatever we are eating, enjoying it, being grateful about it. I think each and every religion around the world talks about how to be grateful about each and every food that you get, right? To eat, each and every meal that you get. So when I am asking any of my clients or people who are coming to me to do any ritual, I try to help them understand how it would improve their lives, how it would help them, and would only suggest a particular ritual if it aligns with their thought process already, because I think that is very, very important to consider when you are talking about rituals, that it needs to align with whatever they believe in their life personally, and then slowly and gradually help them transform themselves and their lives with continued work in that ritual, whatever they're doing. So the best thing to do that is to first understand, okay, what their thought processes are, to understand and ask them when you are suggesting anything, if that is aligning with them, if it is aligning with what they think and they believe, okay? And trying to make it as open culturally as it can be, because we live in a diverse world. I come from India, where diversity is there all the time in each and every way. We have different languages, we have different people, different thought processes, and it's a hub for diversity, really. So yes, it is very important to consider what the background of the person is, where they're coming from, and what are their thought processes about it. What do they already believe in? Yeah.
Yes, that is profound. Belief is definitely one of the major ingredients in this process, because there are certain techniques that would be considered woo-woo, but if it works for you, it works for you. It doesn't have to work for everybody. There's just not a one-stamp-fit-all. And that is definitely one of the key points I want you guys to take away for this. And with that, I do want to ask Dr. Girish, I'm going to direct this question to you. If you can cite some evidence of the scientific research on the benefits of the ritual on a daily routine.
Yes. Vedic understanding of the rituals is that to align our life with natural law. Natural law is perfect, infinitely creative intelligence, and the laws that govern our physiology, our consciousness are same as the laws that govern the whole universe. Start from there. And the basis is that it has the evolutionary power, it has nourishing power, it has harmony, it has what is right for us, it has what is good for us. And aligning with that is that. And I gave example of transcendental meditation, and there are many rituals, like many daily routines that are recommended. And one of the research that was done was a group which was given like health education, all that is good for your health, your routine, your diet, and like that. And other group is just transcendental meditation. Now, what was the research is how deep the effect of these rituals are, how deep in physiology. It's a epigenetic research on the genetic level, transformation on genetic level. So one of the things on the level of DNA is what is called telomeres. These are the end of DNA, like caps. They are caps like a shoelace. You see a cap at the end of shoelace, like that end of DNA. It's a protecting cap. There was a Nobel Prize given on medicine in 2009 on telomeres research. Now, effect of that, the genetic gene response is telomerase, a telomerase which protect the telomeres. So telomeres in length, if we are in stress, if we are having some chronic disorder, if we are aging, the length of telomere reduces. It gets damaged, it gets reduced. Telomerase is a gene response which protects, it regenerates and corrects that. And both this health education group and the TM group, their length of telomeres or telomerase response was, increased significantly with the practice. And that shows that we are doing something on the surface and it helps very deep. The way it works is like a farmer. He's not growing crop per se. What he does is creates an environment that nature does its thing. It makes the land fertile. It brings the water. He removes the weeds, and then nature does its thing. So that's how, in our physiology on the deeper level, this functions. One of very interesting story I want to share about. Some years ago, I was taken a retreat on a hillside forest, and one day I was going for a just morning walk, and suddenly I saw intense movement of all the monkeys in the forest. They were rushing, and I was like afraid maybe there is a wild cat behind. What is happening? But they were just in urgency. And what I saw were they were jumping to another part of the hill, which was like a rock, almost vertical. And all the monkeys of the forest took a seat, within their groups, like a family. I was like, what is this? Very sequentially set. And what is happening this? Quietly sitting. And I see there in the horizon, the morning sun rising. And they were just facing the sun, sunbathing, sun gazing for 10-15 minutes. And then they dispersed. And there is a routine in Ayurveda for taking morning sun rays. And that is also in Vedic architect, you don't build a house if there is sunrise delay. And what scientific research has found is that this sun, the morning sun rays, the 15 minutes of the sunrise and after that, is giving out what is called near infrared rays. And they directly generate cell melatonin. Our cells, our tissues generate melatonin with that sun rays. And this has a profound effect because they bring this autophagy or mitophagy. So whole mitochondria or the cells regenerate themselves. It creates better energy level, better immune system response, and overall energy levels are better. It's a complete, purification and revitalizing of the cells. So just small routine, but the depth of the effect, is so transformative. And even in the animal kingdom, they know that it is effective. So many researches, but I just wanted to.
Swamiji, what you said was very, very brilliant, because I for one believe, and it's been my own experience in the last decade or so, when you have your morning under control, how many of you agree with me the entire day goes well? If you agree with me, raise your hands. Yeah, and I've seen that, what I was talking about, my golden hour, where you spend the first waking hour. If your first waking hour, as Swamiji very beautifully said, is powerful, your entire day goes well. There's one more management principle. They say that how you do anything is how you do everything. So if you have done the first 1 hour well, it has been my own experience during this last 5-6 years post-COVID, which was a very, very traumatic challenge for all of us. The other things also start happening well, because that's your me time, which is very important. And I also wanted to share with you one more thing which we discussed yesterday in our panel, was you don't consider holistic well-being only in one dimension, it is multi-dimensional. And when you talk about well-being, it's not only your physical health, it's also your mental health, even your professional health, your financial health, your social health. So in fact, you all can do one small exercise. Time is short, we can't do it. Draw a circle and form 8 lines for each area of your life, starting with physical, mental, emotional, then professional, financial, and give yourself a mark on a scale of 1 to 10, how much you want to put. Like for example, on physical health, you may be 7, financial health, how much it is. And then you join all the circles, points, and check out what is the shape of the wheel that comes out. And check out whether in this journey of life, with that type of a wheel, how are you going to experience your life? So if you can just think about it, just do it for yourself. It's a very powerful, open thinking that can be very, very effective. So that's called Wheel of Life, because holistic well-being is not only about not being one master in one area of life, it is about holistic well-being in all dimensions of life. Yes.
Thank you for that. One of the profound research that I actually appreciate very much and do follow is the research by a Japanese scientist when he did it with the plants, and he spoke to a positive affirmation, negative or none. And it did show that when he ignored one of the plants, it completely died. The negative one, it kind of dwindled less than completely dying, but the positive affirmation one, it thrived. And that just shows the power of words, that on an energetic level, on a bio level, that your words are very powerful. And I do very much take that into consideration when I speak to myself consciously, when I speak to my friends, peers, or anyone, that I speak more in a positive sense than I do in a negative sense, because that is something that is very important for us on our overall well-being. And as Dr. Aranagi started and touched on it, I would direct the question also to Mona in regards to how can our rituals impact our overall health.
Okay, thank you. So I want to just combine everything that was said here, from the power of how it transcends into our body to Wamika, you said really mindfulness, which is a practice that is very important. Combining it into every single area, just like you just drew your wheel of life, right? Taking care of every area, because sometimes we say, okay, I need to take care of my physical health, but I do too much of that, I'll neglect something else. So really balancing it. And then I love the morning, the sun, the sunlight, whatever we get from it. In fact, I do have one ritual. I said at the beginning, I'm not a sort of fan of rituals. for me, it's inconsistency is my ritual, right? But I do have one ritual, which is walking on the beach in the morning and doing my walk and talk. Actually, you can follow me on YouTube for my walk and talk in the morning. But one thing that I want to combine everything and have you experience it. Okay, so here it is. Just as you are, just close your eyes for a moment. Just close your eyes. And get into your body and feel your body and become aware of your seating. Become aware of your posture. Become aware of maybe the chair under you, your hands, your arms, your feet. What are they lying on, standing on? And as you become aware of that, you might become aware of some discomfort. Or maybe you're not in the ideal position. So just regulate. Regulate. Sit down comfortably. Let your back rest so it's not stressed. And then take a deep breath. And allow that breath now to go through your body and feel that now your body is actually more relaxed. And now let's go a little bit to the mental section and become aware of your thoughts. What thoughts are rushing through your mind? What thoughts are keeping you from focusing? And again, bring yourself back to here, to the here and now. Saying goodbye to these thoughts, not because they're not valid, but because they have another time. Schedule a meeting with these thoughts for another time and bring yourself back to here. And then take another deep breath and allow that breath through your mind, through your brain, through your head. And now become aware of your emotions. What are you feeling right now? Scan your body from head to toe. Feel your chest, your abdomen. Where are you feeling these emotions? And again, acknowledge them, speak to them, schedule a meeting with them to bring yourself back into the here and now. And again, take a deep breath. Really deep, and exhale, and let everything that is not useful to you and serve you in this moment right now go. And then open your eyes again and just be with us here. So this is one practice of mindfulness that you can do, and you can regulate yourself several times a day. Because here's the thing, how many times are we sitting in front of a computer and our back is hurting us because we're sitting in an awkward position, or we're standing in an awkward position? And on a very, very subconscious level, the physical discomfort will affect you mentally and also emotionally. So regulate yourself every 15 minutes, you can do that and bring yourself back to the now. When I walk on the beach in the morning, sometimes, I want to feel the sand, I want to hear the waves, I want to smell the sea. And sometimes my mind wanders off to what is it that I need to do today? And that's okay, that's normal. I bring myself back. And I think that Wamika, what you said, that power of mindfulness, of being in the now, of being present, will allow you to really regulate all of what you spoke about in all of these dimensions, yeah? And that will also help our nervous system and help us regulate ourselves. So this is something that everybody can do, whether you're in the car, whether you're at work. Bring yourself back. Be present so that no stresses of yesterday or stresses of tomorrow will control your life today. And I want to end with something that is a really missed opportunity often. We are not grateful enough in life. And when we speak about gratitude, this can be a ritual. Being grateful really brings you back to, what do I have? Grateful for others, also grateful for yourself. But honestly, how much gratitude do we give others? Enough? Maybe not. So, here's something that you can do. I'd like you all to get out your phones. Take your phones out. Take your phones out, everyone. Oh, well, if you're recording, never mind, you can still do it. Take your phones out. Open your whatever, WhatsApp or messaging or whatever system you use. Think of someone in your life who you're grateful for anything. Could be a family member, a team member, anyone, a friend. And send that person a message of gratitude. Send them something nice, without explanation. That's all I want to say.
Yeah.
Wait for the answer, and you can do that more often. Thank you very much.
And one more thing I just want to share with you, just a small ritual. Can I request you all just keep your hand like this, like a lotus? This is called lotus of gratitude. And just adding to what Gunaji said, now as you unplug every finger, think of one blessing in your life, physical, mental, okay? Everybody do that, okay? Just think about one blessing. Like one can be, we all slept yesterday, in the morning we got up again, right? Unplug the next finger, think about one more blessing. Maybe thank your family, maybe your real and close ones. Just think about each one of them. Your spouse, your parents, your children. Just say, I'm so grateful and so blessed that they are in my life. Okay. Now think about the education that you have. Okay, we've all been so blessed to be so much educated. Just thank the opportunity to be educated. Okay. Think about your teachers who were so very generous to give you everything. Just unplug one more finger. Now think about the food, shelter, and the resources that you have. And for each of them, just say that one thing. I'm so blessed. I'm so thankful to you, God. Okay? And last one, thank these organizers of this beautiful conference. They have brought us all together to be together and learning so many things. Okay. And then after this, after 10, keep your hands on your heart and again close your eyes and say, I'm so thankful to you, God. I'm so blessed. I'm such a favorite child of God. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, gently open your eyes. As Monaji said, gratitude is the most positive of human emotions, and if you can just practice it consistently, you will see that abundance comes into your life. Thank you.
Thank all the panelists for all their wonderful contributions. And even though we're out of time, I just want to thank you all for being here. And just hopefully that you took away that small, consistent practices have the power to steady our minds, support our bodies, and reconnect us with who we are. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much once again. Any questions? We have time for questions. We can take 2 questions. You have to come here. Yes, please.
Hello.
Hello.
That was a great session and loved the diverse opinions. So, since we are talking about the power of rituals, can each of you tell the ritual which you practice during the first 5 minutes in the morning? Since Arun sir was saying that if morning goes well, everything goes well, and this I have also experienced. So, please.
Yes, we can go down the line. I normally will just make a list of what I have to do for the day. I need to data dump. I can't keep everything in my head. So my first thing that I do within the first 5 minutes is make a list.
So for me, the first thing I do is give myself time to wake up, okay? And wake up in a slow, pleasant manner. Stretch on the bed, take a deep breath, get down off the bed, and be grateful for being awake and alive and healthy.
Yeah, one ritual I've been following very diligently is, of course, gratitude, this lotus of gratitude, which hardly takes about 5 minutes, 2-3 minutes. And one more thing is I've been taking water, at least 1 liter of water I've been consuming. And I find that water is a universal solvent. So when you drink water, it flushes away all the toxicity and you feel very, very healthy. So that's been one ritual. And subsequently, we have this golden hour, which I'll share with you. You can join the community. We start at 6 o'clock and go until 7:15. And we practice 15 elements, which takes care of your panchakoshas, as we call it in our ancient Vedic culture. Annamay kosh, physical body. Manomay kosh, the mental body. Vignayamay kosh, the intellectual body. Pranamay kosh, the life force, and Anandamay kosh, the spiritual body. So we have covered it, and we want to give it as our contribution to the well-being in the world. Thank you.
Same with me. Drink water first, and then gradually prepare for my meditation.
I make coffee in the morning, get my coffee and my water to my bed, and just enjoy about half an hour just doing nothing. And don't judge me for that, but I go on my phone and do one connections game. I love that game in the morning, and it gets my mind going. And I just, before I get to work, I just do that.
So I have a prayer practice in the morning. I'll sit on my bed, at the edge of the bed, and I'll say, thank you for returning my soul back into my body and for supporting me in all areas of my life today through unconditional love. And then I also say, what would you have me do? Where would you have me go? What would you have me say? And to whom, when, and how? And I trust that as I move through the day, the guidance will come. So that's my morning practice.
I would just like to add something really small to, I think, Arunji's and Girishi's practice. So whenever we are drinking water, important, and yes, right. And a very good source for getting some positivity into our bodies. So if you energize that water with some affirmations, that would be a little more effective. And maybe you can even do these affirmations before you go to sleep, and the water will stay energized, and then have it in the morning. Okay, so this is what would really help you. And if you can have it under the moonlight, nothing like it. So yeah, just adding to their point, because I just thought like that would be a good giveaway for all of you. Yeah, so.
All right. As a point of gratitude, I want to the wonderful insights you've shared, and I personally deeply resonate with everything you've said. Mine isn't a question, but I just want to use myself as an example for intentional, mindful, ritualistic living, right? So we come into this universe as individual entities, but then the school system and then communities and social life kind of dictates certain norms and our way of life. What we refuse or don't recognize to do most of the time is we don't question the dictates of society. For example, the doctors say, I'm not a health professional and I'm not refuting any medical claims, but the doctors who say you've got to sleep 8 hours a day, or you've got to eat breakfast is the most important meal. But when you get to the point of self-awareness and you understand your individualistic makeup, you realize that not all of us thrive on breakfast or 8 hours of sleep. And so since 2007, I saw a man who was in his 60s and he looked like he was 35. For me, that was a great inspiration, and I said, I want to be like him. And most of you probably might wonder, I'm I look very young, but I'm really old a bit, not more than most of you here. Stop guessing. I'm a bit old, but it's not about genetics. It's not because I'm African, but it's about being intentional. And when I learned what the man does for his life, and I started practicing, and it's been really helpful, not sticking to the normal breakfast, sleep 8 hours a day, and understanding what works with my particular body type has helped me a lot. And so just a few things I want to share that when we get to understand who we are, that's the awareness. You've spoken about that. And also, then we have to be very much aware of our environment, because what works for me living in the part of the world I lived may not work for you because I said it, right? And then also being very intentional and reflection. You go for some time, take a pause and ask yourself, is this really working? Just because we said build rituals doesn't mean you start and then you're hopping. Take a pause in life, reflect and see the results, and then continue with it. And to end up, life is fun, to always be serious. Enjoy it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your comment.
Yeah.
You can go to.
Thank you. I just want to add, this is, when I said at the beginning also, rituals are different. So one of the rituals that or not a ritual, but a habit, something that I started about 20 years ago, I don't watch news. I stopped watching news. And what I need to know, I will know. Because that affects us also
I
negatively.
completely agree with that statement. My parents watch the news all too often, and I'm not going to cut you, but and they're just always in fear, and fear just also has a physical manifestation in your body, and it makes you tense. And I used to do this with my clients. I will make them tense themselves, scrunch their face really, really hard, and then make them relax so that they can literally feel the difference of when they're in a tense mode, when they're in a fight mode versus when they're in a relaxed and calm mode, and then to ask them to be aware of that so that they can do as much as they can to stay in that moment. But you can have.
They always say that breaking news actually breaks you mentally. So don't watch the news, as beautifully said by my panelists. Because ultimately they are only interested in the TRP, and our human attention, which is the most important possession that all of you have, it gets attention only when you have fear. When fear is induced, or that's how the brain is programmed, as my panelist said. So they are using that to make you anxious and stressful. Yeah, we have a question there, my friend. Yeah, John.
Okay. Wonderful panel discussion. The rituals, and you're talking about your wellness journey. What would someone needs, whether it is patience or practice or passion, to follow the virtues or to follow the wellness journey? Maybe Dr. Arunagiri can answer this.
Yeah, thank you.
Is it patience
that's a lovely
or
question.
practice or passion? Because we are in the end of the year, and everybody from January, they start getting into wellness, they start getting into all sort of whatever you call it as. And after Feb, they forget whatever happened in Jan, right? So what do you tell these people?
Yeah, beautiful, very, very powerful, very good question, very relevant question. I would say that first and foremost is create an environment which will enable you to be in the wellness being. That's where the community factor is important. They say that the environment is more powerful than willpower. Now, all of us have the willpower on the 1st of January. We want to start, we go and join the gym. Gym fellow tells, don't take 1 month, take 1 year, I'll give you concession. And you go and pay the money. But after 7 days, when you do it individually, it doesn't happen. But if you go with a group of your friends, and each one of you can motivate and call them to accountability, that environment will keep you in the ritualistic thing. That's very important. Second important thing which I realize is don't wait for perfection. Perfection is a myth. Progress is the key. So start small. And one more thing which I've learned, you all must have read Atomic Habits, a lovely book. They say, Hindi mein bolte, many of you are in, thoda karo, roj karo, means do every day. Do small thing, but do every day. Like for example, if you have decided, John, to start going for running, Maybe one day you don't feel like going for a maybe half an hour run or a 1 hour run, but go for that 5 minutes. Step out and do it. Because it's been my experience, to break a good habit the first time is difficult. But the first time you break a habit, the second time it becomes more easier to break, third time still more easier, and after 4 or 5 times it becomes automatically much more easier. So as you said, patience, passion and purpose, all of them are interlinked. But it's just a matter of creating the right environment and doing it with the consciousness that I will do it every day, small amount.
Thank you, doctor. That sounds good. Yeah.
Could I add just one more component to
Please.
that? I agree with everything. Self-compassion. Buckets of self-compassion on the journey.
I would also say dedication in conjunction with everything. Progress doesn't look linear at times. Sometimes it's just a little bit here, a little more there. Sometimes it falls back down, but it was still more than what you started with. So don't be too hard on yourself. Give yourself grace that as long as you're dedicated to the mission of changing yourself, it will happen.
Thank you so much for this insightful discussion. I want to hear from you one tip about creating consistency in the wellness journey of the younger generation. Because this generation, I don't think they are knowing what they have. They don't feel grateful all of the time. They are distracted a lot with social media and many other things. So how we can reinforce these rituals in their daily life, that it will become a habit when they will be adult, go to work, university, and so on. Thank you.
I just been my strong belief that whatever, you can't change somebody's behavior, you can only inspire them. So especially for parents, I always tell them, if they follow a good, disciplined, healthy ritual, it is more likely that the children may also follow. But ultimately, we have to remember that they're all living beings, so you can't ever enforce anything, but you can definitely inspire. So if you create an environment where you are first practicing, because when I don't practice, I have no right to talk to you. Like for example, if I'm not doing that lotus of gratitude, if I'm not drinking that water as Swamiji very beautifully said, or we are not doing this affirmation as my other panelists said very beautifully, or I'm not showing compassion as the other panelists said, if I'm not practicing it, I will not be able to, be a source of inspiration. This new generation, Gen Z, I do a lot of training for them in India and all over Asia. I've seen them, they are open. Only thing is they ask you why. They always say, why should I do it? Why should I do it?
Yeah, but it's not anymore about only the parents.
Yeah,
the school, the social media, the friend, the environment they are growing. So we as parents play part, or the teacher played part, or everyone has a part in shaping their personalities and their rituals, let's say, or their habits every day.
Absolutely. That's where, as a parent, I'll tell you one more thing. This is a thing which I am really passionate about, parenting as a science. Parents have to do only one thing. They have to be a little bit careful about what type of a company your children is moving around. Because they have inordinately big influence on how your child will grow. So as a parent, it's your responsibility, because parenting and leadership is not a popularity game. It is a responsibility. So you have to ensure that your children are in the right environment or right company. That is your discretion. There you don't have to be popular. Sometimes you have to exercise your responsibility as a parent.
And I think Dr. Alex had something to say, and Ms. Wamaka.
Yeah. So actually, I think I was gonna suggest a small practice that maybe you can put in as like a ground rule at home or something like that, where you provide them time periods of digital detox, where when they're having their meals, for example, they're not allowed to use their cell phones or TV or any screen time. And maybe that would help them maybe they would just eat their meals really quickly or something like that. But even that 15 to 20 minutes of digital detox would really help. So when I am working with the generation ahead and I'm working with parents, I am suggesting try to make their sleep better. Try to make nighttime better for them. Because for morning to be good, and to have like a morning routine, you need to have like a bedtime routine to help you sleep better. So try to make sure that you make certain ground rules, if you can, in your house where there is digital detox for everyone after 9 p.m. or 10 p.m., whatever time you decide, something like that, so that the sleep is good and the waking up is even better in the next morning. And that is one small thing maybe which you can do. Yeah?
Thank you.
Dr. Alex?
I agree with my fellow panelists. One small addition to that is out there in the world, especially for the younger generation, there's quite a bit of comparison that they're exposed to. And so the one practice at home could be inviting conversation over comparison. So just really getting to know who they are and inviting them to open up about that so that they feel that they're showing up as themselves rather than having to live up to the comparison standards that may be prevalent outside of the home, so that they know that they have the safe space and an anchoring point, at least within the home with parents. So conversation over comparison.
Brilliant. That's a very important point. In fact, one more additive to what she said very brilliantly is catch them doing right. Catch them doing right. As parents, we have a tendency to always keep on complaining, criticizing, and comparing them. Instead of that, catch them doing right. It's always said whatever habits or whatever behavior is recognized and rewarded gets repeated. So as my panelists rightly said, if you can reinforce them, I think you can bring in the transformation in them. Yes.
Thank you. And we have time for one last question. Thank you.
Yes. So my question is to Dr. Alexandra and Ms. Muna. Actually, it's two in one probably. So I'm someone who's not into discipline at all. And the moment you speak about rituals versus consistency, then I think, oh yeah, what I'm doing is not ritual at all then. My rituals change over time. And I have few, what I used to call ritual, and that's my question to you, are these rituals? So to me, the way I judge ritual is how I feel after it. Am I fulfilled? Am I ready? Do I have peace of mind? Did I connect with myself? So this is the feelings that will tell me, okay, that's your ritual. That's why I'm okay with the walk on the beach, to call it ritual. My morning coffee under the sunlight is surely, it's a must even. It's not a ritual. That's why my shisha even, it sounds like, oh yeah, shisha, but I connect with myself, I think so. Is that it? Am I making the most out of the ritual? That's one. The second point, just quickly, it's if I'm a believer that I can heal myself if I understand myself. And I was exposed recently to anatomy tests and studies because I'm Pilates teacher also. So I got to strongly understand the power of our mind and brain. How can I personalize ritual that I know will tackle what I'm going through now? Because there were times where my brain was really tired and what suffered was my body, but I wasn't able to say, okay, what do I do? So can rituals be part of that healing journey, knowing that I'm not into yoga, I'm not into meditation, I'm a loud person, but I enjoy my me moments. That's it. Thank you.
I'll take the first part, you take the second part. So absolutely, thank you for saying that. And not having rituals or being in the moment can be a ritual in itself. So I think I said it earlier, inconsistency is my consistency, for example. Yeah, I'm quite similar to you, that I say I don't want to be forced to do something, because the thing is, every time we think we have to do something, that's stress in itself. So, and that goes back to that parenting question also. Sometimes we think that our rituals are the ones that our children have to adopt. No. Yeah? They can have their own, and trust that everybody finds their own way. The problem is that we are so much dictated by what society and social media tells us. So, back to what you said, we have to have breakfast in the morning, we have to sleep at 8 o'clock, we have to dress in a certain way, we have to look a certain way, we have to meditate in the morning, we have to pray at night, we have to, all these rituals that are dictated make more stress than actually is intended with rituals. Yeah. So find your own way, and what you're doing is absolutely perfect. Thank you. You want to take the second part?
I couldn't agree more. I feel like as you were asking the first question, you already answered it for yourself, and all those qualities of how you feel after a ritual is exactly what it's about. So if it's a ritual to you, it's a ritual. It doesn't have to be that. You don't owe anyone an explanation or a justification that it is or that it isn't. Exactly. And that's the trusting process, which sort of leads me into your second question. The body is not a thing. It's a process. And it holds our entire life's history, and even more than that. So being incredibly compassionate and slow actually gets us there faster. One of my dear teachers says, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. And I keep reminding myself of that when I want to get somewhere faster, or when I want to feel a certain way faster. I just remind myself, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. And giving that body a message, I'm here for you now. I'm here for you now. And then showing up. Even if it's 30 seconds per day, it doesn't matter. Your body will slowly build that pathway of, I can trust this. And the physical sensations will start slowly revealing messages as and when you are ready to receive them. There's infinite intelligence in the human body, infinite intelligence. Every single one of us has it. Every single one of us can tap into it. And it is so quiet and so slow and so gentle. It doesn't shake mountains, but it moves everything on the inside. So slow is smooth, smooth is fast. And remind yourself, I'm here for myself now, I'm here for my body. And I promise you, you will start feeling and sensing those shifts. They may be subtle, but then one morning you'll wake up and you'll say, what just happened? Yeah, exactly. It becomes another practice, it becomes another ritual. Exactly. Very much that. So I'm here for you today. Or, as Mona said, schedule a meeting with your thoughts, schedule a meeting with your emotions. Look at your day ahead and say, I will have an hour or half an hour or 5 minutes, and literally just internally say, I'm going to schedule an appointment with my body at 2:15 p.m. But then show up for it. Because the body will show up for you, got to show up for it, and then the two of you start talking more and more and more. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much. I think we overexceeded the time with fantastic questions, and it had to be because the topic was such with a great panel. Thank you so much once again for doing this for us, and addressing so many questions. That says that everyone is quite attentive throughout the session and they are enjoying the topics. Very well moderated, and thank you for a great panel. A round of applause once again.